Hey, welcome back. So I got some feedback that the game was too quiet and my voice was too loud. So I did make some tweaks. I hope this comes out a little bit better. I was suppressing the game noise. I think because the last recording I did, the music in the game was too loud, and hopefully this comes out a little bit better. Anyways, definitely don't want to hear Jeff shouting while you're trying to enjoy the game. Okay, so let's pull up a map. There's a really nice map. You can double click anywhere and put a custom marker if you'd like. As you can see, it goes up along a beach here. This sort of goes inside the Nautilus. We're basically going to want to explore everywhere that we can. I don't know if there's an ideal way to go versus not go. We're just rocking around, and again, we're very money poor in the beginning of the game. We're holding down the Alt key, and we just want to loot whatever we can, even if it's just one gold. It's worth doing because it all adds up. And then
Might
over
be
here,
useful. Fresh water. There must be a settlement somewhere
like you can see
nearby.
right here, that's 3 camp supplies. When you rest to heal your party, it takes 40 supplies to do a full rest. So 3 camp supplies, there you go. It's 340 of the way there. And then of course water. I've only ever sold it. I don't see any purpose for it. And then we got this book here. And don't mind that ping is because I was holding down the Alt key. So a lot of this lore stuff I don't even read. But basically you can see this is about some ship or animal. I don't know, I'm not into the lore as much, but we'll pick up, excuse me, and sell a book. Sorry about that. Alright, let me get some fish. And the fish, by the way, is camp supplies, even the fish head. And we got ourselves a letter to Sai. Leave your boat, meet me at the hill, overlooking the old bridge. Bring whatever you can carry. Love, Anna. I don't know if I've ever found Anna, or if the story ever goes anywhere. And then this mergrass here, this is for alchemy purposes. So when you look at your inventory, you have a spellbook, then you have alchemy. And for example, we just picked up mergrass. I don't know where mergrass would go in this. Right here, actually, under suspensions. So if I collect 3 mergrass, I make a suspension of mergrass. And then this suspension of mergrass would then be an input to maybe one of these other. So this will build up. And you can always just click on this and say, what can I craft right now? And as you can see, there's nothing you can craft right now. But some of these are recipes that we know. The little exclamation points. And you'll learn more stuff as you go. And again, 4 camp supplies. And some bottles. The barrels are annoying because sometimes they have absolutely nothing in them. And
Anything
other
of
times they're
use?
awesome. That is a knuckle burger. The last 2 were awesome. And let's go get a belladonna. And we just learned a new recipe. It's a very forgiving game. So you find the ingredients, the recipes will more or less pop in. And then we have this thing here. This is the waypoint system in the game. So we now have our camp and the overgrown ruins. And it doesn't matter where you are on the map. We could be all the way down here. I can open up the map, I can click on overgrown ruins and instantly teleport there. So it's an extremely nice feature. Um, some of the dungeons in this game will take us hours to get to the bottom of the dungeon, and then you'll find one of these, and you can actually teleport back, almost like Diablo style, right? You can teleport back to town, sell your inventory, you know, free up some of your encumbrance, and then go back into the dungeon and continue. And that's a pretty normal way to play this game, and it's a very nice feature. I very much appreciate it. And speaking of which, you do have encumbrance right here. I can only carry 120 weight, but the moment I get past this gray line, I start to get encumbered, and then the red becomes heavily encumbered. You don't even want to get encumbered. There's so many penalties that happen to you. So you can see I'm already at 34.7 weight, and then I can just always, for example, you can sort by weight. And right now these dark mines are weighing 5 pounds each, so we can sell those, or you know, move them over to Shadowheart, who can carry some pretty decent things. And then this here is a temple with a locked door. We're not going to mess with this right now. You can pick that lock and get in, but there's no reason to. There's 100 ways to get into this temple, and this is probably the hardest way to get in. And that particular door is on the other side of it. There's traps everywhere, and we don't want to go in this way. We want to take one of the other 99 ways. So yeah, there was 25 gold. That was a nice grab.
More of those wretched things.
And here we go. We're getting... These will not be friendly to us. This is what we were trying to pull out of that guy.
Better stay back. One strike could be lethal.
Alright, so we're not... Our little storm spells are not that powerful yet. But that's okay. And for her,
time to deal some punishment.
Just like that. I did not remember catching those before. I'm gonna go ahead and turn. There's 2 more here, as you can see. They are coming. Alright, so same deal. They're right next to us, so we're gonna stick with our... We did 4 damage.
Let's end this.
Oh, not enough. Let's try the breath, because I can hit both of them. I hit myself too. Oh, did you see that? I hit her. Alright, that wasn't good. Now you can also do this thing called shove, where I can knock them back.
Let's finish this.
It doesn't do anything here, but it could be more helpful later. And
Swift as my feet can carry me.
You fight well.
look at this. We just
Perhaps our
leveled up.
survival isn't such a distant
Great.
prospect.
Alright, so level 2 is when things start to get at least interesting for most of the classes. So here you can see, this is all the things that happen at level 2. The first one is we get a spell slot unlocked for level 1, so now we have 3 level 1 spell slots. We also get sorcery points that we can finally spend and actually act like a sorcerer. And then we can create sorcery points by spending spell slots. So since I have 3 level 1s, I can actually consume one of those level 1s to give myself another sorcery point. Or I can create a spell slot by consuming 2 sorcery points. So I can do either or. And when I say consume, it's a temporary thing until you long rest. Once you long rest, everything resets back to... So these are all just temporary things. So I can temporarily use my sorcery points to give myself another spell because I'm in the middle of a battle and I just need more firepower. Or I can temporarily um, spend a spell slot to give myself more sorcery points, and you'll see how those are used in a second. I gained a spell, which helps because I got a new spell slot, and then I can replace a spell, because you could always change your mind about a spell, and I think we're actually going to do that here. So the new spell is going to be another level 1. This is an interesting dilemma, because I took the 2 that I really wanted. So let me think about this. I think I might want a lightning spell. I was thinking Thunder Wave before, but I actually like this one. And this is getting back to I'm a storm sorcerer, so let's stick with our theme, right? We want to expeditious retreats, not bad. Magic orb. I do like when I'm playing an evocation wizard. This is a good one. Like I said, you get this thing that doubles your poison. I'm actually gonna stay thematic. We'll go with the Witch Bolt. And then here we have 2 passives, and this has to do with your sorcery points. So when you spend a sorcery point, I'm gonna do like this one here. For example, Magic Missile only targets 1 creature. Now I can target 2. Or my Lightning Bolt, I can target 2 creatures instead of 1. That's a wonderful, wonderful one. The extended one is going to double the duration of conditioned summons, and then this increases the distance. So if you're just not quite close enough to cast a spell, you could be standing further away. And then the careful one, make sure that you don't hurt your allies, like sort of what just happened. Let me go ahead and take the careful and the twinned, although the extended is not a bad idea. And for the replace, I wanted to replace a cantrip. It's okay, I don't want to replace either of those yet. And we're going to hit OK. So now you can see we got 3 level 1s. And 2 sorcery points. Then here's our ability to manipulate them. And we're ready to go. Alright, so let's try this mage hand out. So I can... So see how I have this little hand?
What's hiding here?
Didn't do anything there. Oh, I see. I see how it works. It's an actual, like... It's like a little minion. See, I've never used mage hand. So we can come up here. It's not going to let me loot, is it? I thought it would. I thought Mage Hand allowed me to pick pockets. Although I don't pick ally pockets. And maybe it still does, but... Anyways, you can see it's this little hand that
Is that blood?
follows you around like
No.
a minion.
Never mind.
I don't...
If not over,
I still think
then
it's
through.
cool. And you can also use it like if you know there's a trap or something. You can manipulate something safely.
What's inside?
Alright, I'm grabbing a bunch of stuff. I know I still gotta level up.
What's next?
Shadow Heart, so let's do that. Alright, so health got a really nice bump. Another level 1 spell. She has Divinity that she can channel. She has Turn Undead. And she can invoke Duplicity where she distracts enemies with an illusion. She's the Trickery cleric. Probably my least favorite of all the clerics. But anyways, here we go. So she's got some spells here. I never like the Inflict Wounds. Here's the Create Water. So Create Water, make somebody wet, and then cast your Lightning. These two work together really, really well. The Protection from Good and Evil is never a bad spell. Bless is good. There's a lot of decent ones here, but I end up using these two more than anything. I really use the cleric as a fighter, and then when I need to heal, you know, I have these healing spells to, you know, keep the party afloat. That's tends to be how I play.
Let's move.
Sometimes I get overwhelmed with how many options they
Best be on
provide.
my way.
Clerics are very good characters. You can do a lot with them. Probably way more than I actually do. I'm sure some of you start to realize that. Alright, you want to grab these thieves' tools, and then there's also going to be trap disarm kits. You cannot pick a lock or disable a trap without them. And if you ever fail to pick a lock or fail to disarm a
Always
trap,
room for more.
you lose the tools. And so that's why you need more than one. Right, so the alchemy stuff is just a matter of picking up what you can as you find them. And yeah, we just keep walking along. There is a portion of the map I never figured out how to get to. That's this portion right here. So we went up, we went inside the Nautilus, and there's this little black spot right here. I never actually figured out how to get there. Let's see. Okay, so here we're going to get Asterion, which we definitely need somebody to pick locks. So he's probably going to be a part of our party. He's an annoying character, but as far as powers go,
I need some help.
He's really good. So he's one of those guys that, you know, you value him for what he can do. You just wish he would keep his mouth shut. And you could probably think of somebody in real life like that. Anyways, Starion, he definitely brings
Seems
a lot
like a
of
good moment to talk.
character.
I've got one of those brain things cornered. There, in the grass. You can kill it, can't you? Like you killed the others?
So I'm going to tell him to kill it himself, because he's lying to me right now.
I was hoping for a kind soul.
I never failed this. I don't know what happens if I fail.
I saw you on the ship, strutting about whilst I was trapped in that pod. What did you and those tentacled freaks do to me?
Alright, so...
I'm not
we
an
have it
idiot.
backwards.
I saw... Ah!
Your mind twists.
Minds meld.
You're looking out of
Our
unfamiliar
little
eyes,
tadpoles talk to each
prowling
other?
dark, busy streets. You try to hold the memory, but it fades to the worm. The light, the fear.
What was that? What's going on?
So, it's true. The Mind Flayer worms connect us.
Of course. And to think, I was ready to decorate the ground with your innards. Apologies. A kindred spirit.
And then Shadowheart approves.
My name's Astarion. I was in Baldur's Gate when those beasts snatched me. A pleasure. So, do you know anything about these worms? Turn us into... Of course it'll turn me into a monster. What else did I expect? Although, it hasn't happened yet. If we can find an expert, someone that can control these things, there might, you know, I was ready to go this alone, and you seem like a use. All right, I accept.
As he joins your side, your mind dances with thoughts of a perfect, pretty corpse.
Okay. So, he is a vampire. His being a vampire doesn't disrupt you that much. There's some funny moments, and of course he starts to get some vampire abilities. But let's talk about...
What's next,
folks.
I wonder?
So, the cleric is in the trickery domain. Like I said, it's my least favorite of the clerics, we are going to be able to reclass her, and I will. It'll cost 100 gold to do, and I'll still make her a cleric, or at least I think I will. There's a part of me that may want to make her a paladin, because I just like them so much, but, you know, anyways, I think cleric would work. It's always helpful to have somebody who can heal. I usually like to make her into a life cleric, which some of her dialogue is dark in nature, which it you know, conflicts, but there's more utility with the life. It's more my play style. But we'll go ahead and I'm trying to do something different because I'm doing my own private playthrough of this game, and I don't want it to be the same exact game as what I'm already doing, because that's boring. So I might try to mix this up. That's why I'm thinking, like, maybe I want to change her class completely. Like, maybe make her a druid, you know. Druids also heal. You know, if I can think of something completely different, that would make the game more interesting for me. So we'll see what we can come up with. But the cleric is actually a perfect class for what I'm trying to do. So the class actions are here. A lot of this is because we're trickery. These will change if we switch to life. These are always going to show up in her bar. And then this is her spell book. So these are all the spells she knows, and then these are the ones we've selected. Okay, so that's the difference. She's allowed to use 3 before she needs the rest, and these are the ones that are available to use, and then these are the ones that she knows. So technically these are all available, but she has selected these to be memorized, and then we can use any of these 3 times. That's what that means. These spells are sort of like her, you can see the infinity, they're like her cantrips. So she can do disguise self because she's trickery, and we'll talk about that in a second. And then she has cantrips. So I know they're considered separate, but just think of them, they're very similar. She can cast these as many times as she wants. And then these are the common aspects. So she has a cantrip because she's a half-elf, and then these are because of her weapon. Her mace gives her some of these skills, and then of course these are her common actions. Then she has a reaction. She can do an opportunity attack if somebody gets within striking distance and then tries to walk away. Now this is saying do it automatically. This is saying ask me first. And so I'll have to confirm it every time, but I'm just going to have it do automatic. Then of course there's the alchemy. So she's pretty straightforward. So I keep telling you I want to change her just for variety's sake, but to be quite honest, she's really great the way she is. Like I said, I may just change her out of trickery domain just for my own personal preference.
Trust me.
Now, Astarion is another one. Also great the way he is. He's a rogue. He's pretty darn good at it. He's an elf, which gives you an extra. So elves give you, let's see, they can see in the dark, charmed, yeah, so that's what he gets for his features. I would swear that they got a bonus. So anyways, at level 2 he gets what's called cunning actions, and we'll talk about those in a second. But see, there's not a lot of choices here. He just gets these cunning actions out of his toolbar. And here's the key thing. So this is a hide action and a dash, which is the run. And see how they use the green? They have the green circle, which is this action. These ones are orange. So now he can do these as an orange action. So he can do a dash and still attack, because attack uses green actions. So he can run and then attack all in the same turn, whereas other characters can't. And that is a really nice thing for thieves. It's nothing unique to Astarion. Any thief gets that type of ability. And you can see here, they don't have spells, but they still have class actions. And he also has a firebolt cantrip. And then he has 3 types of opportunities. So this is a reaction. And then he gets a reaction, like if he's sneaking, he'll do extra damage to a foe if he has advantage against it. And then of course if he gets a critical hit, he will deal extra damage as well as part of the sneak attack. And I'm telling them to do it all of it automatically. And they all tend to start with a low approval, or I guess that's considered neutral, but they do move this way, assuming you don't screw up your relationships with them too much. And he does have, like, so if one of the reasons I pay 100 gold to maybe respec him, I don't need him to have persuasion, because I'm doing persuasion, for example. And if you look here, yeah, his charisma is 0. I mean, he actually has decent points across the board, but here we go, there they are. So he's doing the thing I was telling you about. The 17 is worthless. He could be a 16 and get the same bonus, and then use those 2 points to, you know, go somewhere else. Like make these 14s or whatever. And that's what I was getting at. He's actually got some decent skills, but I would make this a 16 and make his strength a 10 or something like that. Anyways,
Can't
we
give
could
up
talk for
now.
hours.
What path lies before me?
In fact, I'm going to save it. Just quick save. And this is something
There.
I forget to do often,
mind
and then I
flayer.
really regret it.
And it's hurt.
That thing's bound to be dangerous, even if injured. Best be
So
careful.
we found the mind player that's still alive.
You approach the dying monster. This is the thing that abducted you. You could end its life here and now, if only you didn't feel compassion. Compassion. Yes, you feel hate, and you deserve to be punished for it. You should be whipped, made to bow before this creature in shame. It's possessing your mind, forcing you to love it, but then the feeling slips. The creature's mind seems to focus elsewhere.
Alright, so I failed the concentrated thoughts. This is the first time I failed this one.
You try to break through, but its mind is impenetrable. With a last surge of defiance, it slaps your efforts away. The monster lies exhausted, defeated. Its eyes, wet orange pearls, radiate malice.
Yeah, so the outcome's exactly the same. You just get a different dialogue. So I can leave it. I've never chosen to leave it to die slowly before. I just always close its eyes forever. We'll try this. I mean, there's loot to be had. Oh, I have to take a short rest. So this is a cantrip you can only use. Oh, I never never considered that.
Someone there?
Oh, that's right. It's our fighter that has the mage hand. Well,
Shouldn't have wished to live in more interesting times.
you can still pickpocket.
Keep a blade close.
And so the way we do that
Time
is
for discretion.
we go into stealth mode, and you can go up and
It's
pocket.
gonna pass.
Alright, well I guess not.
The monster's tentacles twitch weakly.
So, there you go. I guess we spoke with it.
The monster's
I've got a long road ahead.
tent.
Alright. I am going to finish him. Look at that, we get 35 experience
Monster.
for doing that.
Death is too good for it.
That was maybe 2 gold worth of items, but that's okay. The 35 experience was worth it. Alright, how are we doing? We can go this way, or we can go
Never
this
wanted
way.
the easy path.
Both of these more or less go to the same place.
Open up.
Got some dead goblins
Dead
here.
goblins over there. Worth checking for supplies, maybe.
So I'm just grabbing items. This is really bad, because when I was a paladin, I had a lot of strength. I'm just a wimpy sorcerer, so my weight that I can carry is really low. So I'm probably going to have to start using one of my other characters to do all the looting. Ah, yes. This is not a bad spot.
What's going on with that room?
Approach the sigil on the stone. Magic glitters and...
A hand? Anyone?
Here's a unique option for the sorcerer, which is pretty cool.
Whatever you're doing is working wonders. Now a quick little pull should do the trick. Hello. I'm Gale of Waterdeep. Apologies. I'm usually better at this.
Usually better at
At
introductions.
magic. Say, but I know you, don't I? In a manner of speaking. You were on the North Lloyd as well. And I can only assume you too were on the receiving end of a rather unwelcome insertion in the ocular region. No use sugarcoating it, is there? It's a process known as ceramorphosis, and let me... You don't happen to be a cleric by any chance, do you?
You seem to know enough about our condition to realize it's beyond most clerics' skills.
Most, no doubt, but I find myself hoping to be in the presence of the few. You don't happen to be one of them. As we've established, few enough can. We're most certainly going to need a healer, and soon, too. How about we lend each other a helping hand once more? Most excellent. A parasite shared is a parasite halved. Or something to that effect. Oh, but before you think you're about to embark on a journey with most ill-mannered... It was an act of foresighted kindness.
Okay, so we got 30 experience for getting them, and we found another sigil. They're not very far apart. But it's still nice to have it. And now we got a full 4-person party.
Yes?
And this is a wizard. And he does... You can pick the different subclasses. The evocation class is actually the one I do prefer, but there's also a benefit to them. Their spells do not harm friendlies, so you can cast like a fireball and safely not harm anybody, even if they're in the middle of the fireball blast. It's extremely helpful to have that. He gains 2 spells, of course. You can learn anything as long as you have the scroll for it. So here you go. These are all the level 1 spells, and he can learn every single one of these. Like I said, obviously I like the magic missile, and I took this one before. It's a really weak... I just don't like it. I want to like it, but I just don't. And maybe I'll have him do the poison. Unfortunately, so you may have heard me earlier on say I wish I could still have a 6-person party. The perfect party for me is a party that has a sorcerer and a wizard. So I like both of these classes, and they each do something different. And I like having the sorcerer be my offensive powerhouse, and I like the wizard to be more utility. And right now you can see I have both of them in the party, and it's all well and good, but I have no more room for anything else, and none of us are, you know, sword and shield fighters that are up in the front line taking all the damage. I can maybe make Shadowheart be that person, but then she's not the best at it because she's a cleric. She's certainly capable of you know, at least being the second one taking a beating. So it's definitely a problem, just to say the least. So come in here. There's some darkness. All of our battles are mostly on the ship here, at least in the beginning. We are going to start running into some other battles outside of the ship. But let's make sure we get all this explored. And now we're starting to get back into where we were, right? So we were already here. See, and then I get disoriented, right? So we started here. We went all the way up. There was the temple entrance there. This is actually a bridge that goes over. So then we came under. We walked this way. We came back to here, and then we came back into the ship. So now I'm going to turn around, and we're going to go up here and go either this way. And I think there was a way to go up this left side. So let's do that. So we're going to have to turn around here.
In for a
How did I
surprise.
miss him?
What to do?
All right.
Have to keep going.
Something like
There's no time to waste.
she has this water spell. It's a level 1 spell. For giggles, you could cast it and put out these fires.
No time to waste.
I don't really want to do a rest just to prove that. Also, you can see like she has so many spells that it filled up this whole thing. You can hit this little plus sign and it makes another row, so there's more room. And going up to 3 rows is pretty normal.
All's well that ends. Oh,
And then
not
here's
as bad as it could
the
have.
sorcerer stuff, so that's how I spend my sorcery points.
No rest for the
now
wicked,
the
I
wizard
see.
doesn't have the whole sorcery point concept, but he does have arcane recovery. So after you spend spells, and you can do this action and recover one of the spell slots. So right now we have 3 level 1 spells. You know, I spend 2 of them. I can press this button, and then I'll have only spent 1 of them, right? So I can recover 1.
I venture forth.
And this all has to do with like the whole camping concept. So a long rest resets everything, but in between long rests, you're trying to, you know, use your resources wisely, and that's what I'm getting at here. Okay, so we can go back to the right, which takes us to the temple, and we do want to go to the temple. On the left side here is a bunch of traps. We have the right person for that. And which way do we want to go? We want to go left first.
No time to rest.
And there's a
Don't
reason
waste
for
a
it. There's
step.
a shovel up here. And there's all these places where you can dig, and you need shovels to dig. So I'm going to, let's see, right here there's a flame. So I'm going to get as close to it as I can. Then we're going to jump across. Because we don't want to burn ourselves. And then the AI does follow suit, which I do appreciate. And then you got these weird traps. You can send
Keep your distance, darling.
Astarion over to disarm them, but we don't have a toolkit.
Best get going. On my way.
That's a little annoying, but those traps don't do anything unless you touch them. And then right up here is the shovel I was talking about.
I hear shouting up ahead.
We should check it
Dig
out,
the dirt.
but be careful.
And the graphics are weird when you're digging, and then you can get yourself some nice items. Alright, I have to take a break, and I will be right back. Okay, I am back. So, going along the lines of like trying to mix it up, Astarion makes a great rogue. It's really hard to argue with that, and there's 2 other classes that can pick locks. There's the Bard and the Ranger. So one of the things I was considering is making him a Ranger. Again, just to mix it up. Between him and Gale, Gale tends to like the choices I make in the game, because Gale is probably what you would consider to be more, at least neutral good. Whereas Astarion almost always likes the evil choices. you know, he's a vampire, so I guess you gotta, you know, he gets this, eventually this ability, like I said, where he will leech blood out of people, and then that'll heal him. But it doesn't just do that, it actually makes him happy, and he'll have this little happy symbol next to him, and that gives him a +1 to all of his dice rolls. So if you're trying to pick a lock or whatever, he actually gets a +1 to it. And so Astarion is, like I said, I mean, he really is the ideal rogue. I can't make room for another wizard, like I said, but I like him as a character. I don't like Astarion as a character. So you can do some really radical stuff. Like, you can make Gale a rogue. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. You just turn him into a rogue and then, you know, tell him to, you know, go pound sand. And the only thing that's going to get wonky is you can make him a rogue, but he's still going to have wizard problems, you know, with, you know, he's going to, you know, when you start getting into his story, it's still about him being a wizard and, you know, blah, blah, blah. So that's the only thing you have to be careful of. So you can make these guys into whatever you want, and they will. The only thing I can't change is I can't change the fact that he's an elf, and I can't change the fact that he's human. Like, I can't change their race, but I can completely change their class. I can make them frontline fighters if I wanted. So I do appreciate that the game lets me have that flexibility. Now, the game is also going to let me create, I don't remember what they're called. It's another word for followers. It's not followers, but hirelings. That's what they're called. So you could create a hireling where, again, the race is chosen for you, but you get to choose from a whole bunch of races. The picture is chosen for you, like how they look, but the hireling will work for you, and you can make them whatever you want. And then, of course, the hirelings aren't going to have special stories like these guys do, but you can make them anything you want, and you could have a party full of nothing but hirelings if you'd like. So you can get rid of all the... Because these guys do have a lot of drama. Every one of them is paying extra at Delta Airlines for their baggage. And so that's something you can do. You can just say, screw you, I don't want any of the NPCs. I just want my own perfect party that I've, you know, made. You can do that. Alright, so another thing, which is a little on the spoiler side, is these tadpoles that we have are going to make us turn into mind flayers, or at least that's how it normally works. But the tadpoles we have are special. If you remember, there were dead mind flayers on the Nautilus, which means that there was like a civil war. And that's all the more I can say about that particular piece. But there is this cult, if you will. I don't know of a better word for it. There is a person who controls anybody who has these tadpoles. And so these tadpoles, they stay dormant, and you can mind meld with other people, etc., etc. But there is this one person who, it's almost like Lord of the Rings. There's a lot of Lord of the Rings feel to this. So we all have our, you know, the elves have their rings, and humans have their rings, and the dwarves have theirs, but there's the one ring that rules them all. It's that kind of concept. There's this tadpole that rules everything. And I know the game hasn't revealed that yet. I'm spoiling a lot of it. So this tadpole that rules everything, and that special device that Shadowheart has, this thing right here.
My faith protects me.
What the heck? What happened to her inventory?
At least things have stayed interesting.
Okay, that's...
A long way to go still.
What happened to her inventory? She's carrying 32 weight worth of stuff.
What a day. Charmed, I'm sure.
Wits and blades, always sharp.
Alright, something's not right. Well, we pulled it up and she had it. I don't understand. She is carrying items. She has... Well, that weight could just be what she's wearing. What happened to everything she was carrying? I feel like there's some kind of bug. I mean, look at this. See, it's showing that she has 2 health potions. And a Revivify potion scroll. That should be showing here. I don't know what happened. Like, now you can see, like, all the equipment is showing up. There's her camp supplies. So now I want to show everything, and then nothing shows up. There's her potions, scrolls, throwables, arrows, weapons. There's a bug. Alright. We're gonna go ahead and try to load our game. See if that fixes it. I've never had that happen, where I can't see somebody's inventory like that. There it is. There's her inventory. So I just had to reload the game. Okay, so see this mysterious artifact? What that does is whoever has that one ring that controls them all, you know, kind of concept, and we don't know who that is. I still don't know who that is that's controlling everybody. But they're putting these tadpoles in, like, all these organizations and people, and they're controlling them. And, like, all the goblins you find are being controlled by the tadpole thing, and you just constantly run into areas that are being infiltrated by this tadpole. And we can identify who they are, because we mind meld with them, and we can control goblins and other people, and like force them to bow to our authority. And they refer to this god person as the Absolute. Anyways, this mysterious artifact is like a Faraday's cage, if you guys know what that is. So it basically is shielding us from... The Absolute is trying to send commands to control us, and this is preventing those commands from getting into our brains. So we are acting independently, even though we have these tadpoles in our head, and that little device that she's carrying is protecting us. So
Looking ahead.
just keep that in the back of your mind. You'll start to see things in the game where this will become more and more evident. And yes, technically, we
Should
don't
mind
have
my
that
step.
revealed yet, but we will soon.
You think it's dangerous?
Zoro was right. Yellow as a toad,
The thing's dangerous. Leave.
and if it escapes, how will you...
Your skull pounds in response to the prisoner's white-hot stare. Her lips don't move, yet you hear her voice.
Get rid of them.
Okay. We don't really want to kill these tieflings. We're going to try to play as good characters here. So, so we're trying to get them to go away. I don't think deception is one of my strengths. I do get a +3. The die roll was mostly in my favor in this, but I have failed this many times, and then you have no choice but to fight these guys.
He's right. Let's go. We need to check out that blast.
So I tell them, you know, what kind of blast, and they don't really respond. It's a little bit of a defect here. So now I'm basically persuading them to tell me where the camp is. And I would have failed if it wasn't for these bonuses. But the camp is so easy to find, it's not even funny.
Northwest. Look for Nettie. Whatever your wound, she can...
And be careful. There are goblin traps every...
Enough gawking. Get me down.
I like her. She's not the nicest person in the world, like I said. But we're gonna ask her to say please.
Never.
Alright. We will
observe and listen.
just shoot the bottom
You'll
of this
hear
thing.
goblins before you see them.
Down.
And there she
The
is.
tadpole hasn't yet scrambled all your senses. Auspicious. But the longer we wait, my people possess the cure for this infection. I must find a creche. You will join me.
Careful. She obviously sees your kindness as weakness. Don't let her take advantage.
You may as well suggest a wyvern bow to worm. The cure I offer will suffice as thanks. It is many things. A hatchery, a training grounds, a shelter. Githyanki protocol is clear. When infected with a Gaith tadpole, we must report to Augustil for purification. You are full up. Dismiss your weakest warrior. Very well, but heed my words. The Horned Ones mentioned a camp. One there, this Zoru, has seen Githyanki. A creche must be near. I must interrogate this Zoru. Our very lives depend on it. I will be at your camp. Do not keep me waiting.
Okay. Maybe it's because she reminds me of my ex-wife. I don't know. Alright,
Maybe I need more pockets.
Alright, so we did some basic looting. And something that may not be apparent to people when they're first playing this game is we can go to our camp at any time. So, boom, I'm at the camp. The only time you can't is when this mini-map is red. So, also, we start the game with these pouches, which is very grateful. You know, usually you have to, like, get 1,000 gold before you can even buy one of these. So, like, for example, all the alchemy stuff we're finding is inside that pouch instead of clogging up our inventory. And then with the camp supplies, same deal. You can see, like, we actually have 2 supply packs, so that's good for 2 long rests right there, let alone all these other items. And even all those keys that we're finding, they go in here. Okay, so with that said, there's a lot to do in your camp. One of the things that we have is you can speak to your people, and then we have this traveler's chest, and so you can store items in here that you want, especially when you're having, like, encumbrance issues. But also, because I think it's the deluxe version of the game, I think that's what's causing this. You get these items, so you get this, so there's an adventure pack with all these camp supplies and potions, right? If anything, that sells for 30 gold. So it's just a really nice boost of gold to sell these potions. I don't necessarily need any of these, although all of them are useful, especially that animal speaking. I do like speaking to animals. It can be very handy. And then look at this, all these camp supplies. So, and then we got the peculiar clothing chest, which has a Cape of the Red Prince and a flute for a bard, and I don't even know, I guess you get a pointy pirate's hat, and you get a rogue dagger, which I think is actually better than most that you get. And then this Mask of the Shapeshifter is pretty darn handy. So, I'm gonna go ahead and just take everything. It does add to my encumbrance. And so now they all line up here. So, the peculiar clothing chest. I'm gonna go ahead and open it. And we're just gonna take everything out of the chest. I'm gonna give this to Astarion. And like the hat, for example. I mean, it actually shows on your... It's silly. The whole thing is silly. There's no AC bonus with it. And then, like, even the cape. So, you know, you got this cape that you can wear. I don't know. I mean, it's cool, but it's just there for fun. However, the one thing that it does mean business, and you can even though you're not a bard, you can still equip the music. You do a poor performance. Did you see that? And I don't know how to do anything because. Anyways. So it would be funny to make one of these characters a bard, like Astarion or whatever. And then you can give him that loot, for example. But where did it go? There's a mask. Oh, here it is. This thing. It looks funny. Right? It's got the 4 faces on it. But what it gives you is it gives you the shapeshift spell. And so you could basically transform into anything you want. So you could become a female gnome. And the biggest thing with this is that you can... When you're tiny like this, you can crawl into holes. And there's, like... you can actually, you know, do things that, like, the tiny people can do. And, so it is handy. It's not necessary at all to have, and in fact, then over here I think I'm gonna dispel the disguise, and that gets rid of it. So the mask itself only sells for 1 gold, but it's nice to give to somebody, you know, so they can do various things. For now, I'm just gonna keep it in my inventory. And then, obviously, we have the camp supplies, plus the Bewildering Adventure Pack. I can put these back into the camp supplies. And now we got all these potions that sell for a nice penny. But none of that, you can't do any selling or anything like that here in the camp. That was just silly things that I wanted to show you.
Look.
And there are, like, when you see the yellow, that means it's lootable. There could be stuff in here, and of course there's not. And now it shows a different picture. And there are things that are just laying, like there's a ball laying on the ground, and there's mugwort, and there's a storage box. Look at this. You got yourself a spell scroll and some gold. And you can talk to
Yankee
people.
joining our company. Not a collaboration I'd have anticipated, but a welcome one nonetheless.
So I'm gonna have to ask him to remain in camp.
I question the wisdom of that decision, but so be it. I'll be here in the meantime.
I am tempted to make him my rogue, just because I don't like Astarion that much. I know I've mentioned this before. But so there you go. You got Astarion reading his book. And I'm actually going to ask her to be...
Chatter already? I expect I am your first. Of course you haven't. They would have cut you. You are no less alien to me than I am to you. I know of your kind. Those diminutive scales of yours look like mistakes. It was an observation, no matter. I do not intend to stay long in this place. I understand much more to the point. It is imperative we locate a creche. You do well to observe more and it is done.
Alright, so I basically told her to shut up and join me.
Eager for battle.
Now, fighter class is not something I've done much with, because I did not use her at all in my current playthrough, since I have a paladin. So, she can gain an extra action to use this turn. That's always good. And it requires a short rest to get it back. So it's just once per short rest. She has her second wind. This is the one that I really wanted to see. So she can gain proficiency in all those. That's very interesting. So if I know she needs to pass a check. Wow. I would have made a Githyanki character if that's... Is that something that all the Githyankis get? That's really good. Can she cast it on someone else? Or just herself? Okay. Yeah, I don't know how she got that. Like, if that's something that every Githyanki character gets, that's really nice. Now look at that. Boom. She's got +2 bonuses all across the board. It's a little painful because you gotta pick the right one.
All right.
But
What now?
yeah, I'm very impressed with it.
At the ready.
Now, you can explore a lot. I don't think there's much bonus to going into all these places. This is really just your camp.
Anything of use?
As you find more and more people, the camp gets more and more lively. And there are people who will come to your camp. They can't join your party, but they're like advisors. So, for example, you're going to get a druid guy that's going to join you. And I actually wish he would join my party for battling purposes. You know, it'd be cool to have a druid join me in my exploring. But for whatever reason, he's just there as an advisor and he talks to you. So that's a little disappointing, but it is what it is. You can always respec into a druid once you get the right guy. So I keep mentioning this, that we could respec into a druid, and we're going to go do that right now. So in order to be able to do that, we have to rescue... I don't know if rescue is the right word. We have to go find this guy. And it's right up here, because this is that temple I was telling you about. The front entrance that we were contemplating going in is right down below this cliff here. So if you were to take a jump off of this, you would go to that front entrance. So we're now at the top of the temple, and I'm actually going to save the game, because this could get a little dicey. And we're going to go into here and just make our presence known.
You! Not another step, hear me? Boss!
What's this then? Trying to creep around us and loot the... Or is it the ship you're after? Don't matter either way. It's ours. All of it.
Oh my gosh, I actually failed this. Okay, looks like we're gonna have a battle.
You're all hot air. What are you lot?
There we go. Alright, so... Meta magic. Your magic fizzles with new potential. I don't... Okay. Alright, so... Here's our rogue. He has this, which requires him to have advantage. Now, advantage is possible if they're laying prone, or if he can get behind them, or if he's sneaky. So, what I'm going to do is, you can see I walked up to him, and it's not letting me go around here. There's not enough room. In fact, you can see it's making me walk this way, so that's not going to work. And I can't hide, because I'm threatened right now. I'm actually literally right next to somebody. So what I'm going to do is switch to... See, I can't do a sneak attack, so that's not going to work. But I can switch to a melee attack. And you can see he has the dagger in his hand, and I was not prepared. I actually gave him this dagger here, which is better. Or it's at least the same, it looks like. There we go, we can equip it. Now I can't. So the equipping of it took up my action. So And now, because I have an offhand dagger, though, I can do an offhand attack as a bonus action, so I'll at least do that. So that was a very lackluster first impression, and you can see right here, I'm threatened. That's part of the reason why I can't use that, even though I had a bonus at the time.
What now?
Alright, so now for me, I should have cast this long before we went into combat. And what I'm going to do is, let's try this instead of the, because I'm a magic missile hog. Look at that, 6 to 15 damage. Yeah, that's, alright. We're going to use the twin spell, which takes 1 sorcery point per spell slot level used. And so I'm going to go ahead and do this. And then we're going to do Witch Bolt, which is a level 1 spell. And I'm going to choose him and him. See, look at that. I miss one of them. That's the thing. These spells suck because they miss and they do all this other, whereas the magic missiles hit every time. I just need a guy that just does nothing but magic missile. Alright, and you can see I'm down to 1 sorcery point. Alright, we're good. I'm gonna go ahead and hit end turn. Actually, I'm gonna walk over here to this guy who's standing, and we're gonna shove him. How awesome is that? So he fell down and took some damage, and then I'm gonna step away so he can't shoot me from down there.
Concentrate.
Alright, we got our priest. We're gonna go ahead and... So I can, like, create water. Which ideally should have been done before I cast that spell. Alright, I'll go ahead and wait. And now we got our fighter. We're gonna go and do a rush attack. Then we got a pommel strike, which is sort of a bonus attack. And you can see he's down to 9 health. I could do an action surge, so let's go ahead and do that. So what that did was that gave me another action. And we're gonna go ahead and attack again. And that finished him off. And look at all the goodies in there. So let's take those. And before I forget, the Thieves' Tools. And the disarm trap. We finally found one. Goes to him. Alright, and I'm gonna go ahead and hit end turn. This mage is a little annoying. And so what he did was he put me to sleep. So my little lightning bolt thing stopped. This guy, of course, is... Alright. So now we're back to this dude. I still can't. Now I can... So I had advantage, so I just did a sneak attack and ruined his day. And
time to move.
So I ran into this and I got entangled. I'm not having a good day there. We're gonna try to dash. Can I get out of this? Nope.
Ready.
Alright, so
Let's see what we have here.
alright, so I'm pretty far away from these guys. I could do another water spell, which, you know, my guy's sleeping at the moment, so it's not going to do me any good. So we're just going to cast... do 8 damage to him. That's not bad at all. How do I wake him up? Just leave it be. Alright, and here we're going to do a dash. I need to get all the way over to them.
On the move.
So I dashed as far as I could. Turns over. he launched an acid arrow. Not very nice. We're gonna go ahead and do a dash.
On the way.
We're running as much as we can to get to this rogue. Wasn't able to quite get there, but I can do the hamstring from below. You get disadvantage when you're shooting a bow and arrow from a lower height, but it doesn't mean you. It just means you take the worst of the 2 dice that are rolled.
Can't give up.
She's standing in acid, so if she walks through this, she's going to take more damage. So this is where the jump comes in. So we can jump her outside of that. And let's see if we can wake this guy up. Yeah, we're going to help him. There we go. Got rid of his sleeping. And that's her whole turn.
Never easy.
Alright, so now we got Frostbolt. We're gonna do Magic Missile and all 3 of them. That one's annoying. We gotta kill him. I could have done the twinning and actually hit both. Think about that. But that's okay. He's as good as dead. She missed! What kind of crap is that?
To the death.
Alright, that's it.
No one stopped me
We
yet.
have some damage, but we survived.
One day I'll catch a break.
Alright, one of the things we can do is shoot this little spot right here. And that opens this hole. I don't know how valuable it is to do this, but I always do it, just because.
Time and the elements have left the plaque unreadable.
It does give you a way in the temple if for whatever reason you can't get in any other way. I've always been able to get in one of the other ways. Alright. Then we got one more set of items up here. So here's what I always like to read the books. So obviously her life came a little short. And then you can see we have some damage, so this is the perfect time to do a short rest. So some of the things that will happen when you short rest is I don't think we get sorcery slots back. See, that's per long rest. But this mage hand will replenish. So we're going to go ahead and short rest. Then everybody gets healing. You see my mage hand came back, but this didn't. So certain things, and then the biggest thing is you just get a nice heal. But assuming you still have spell slots left, you can still do things. So I'm going to actually get the mage armor going. So I've used up all my level 1 spell slots because I used the Witch Bolt. So I would have to do a long rest to get those back. Or I can create a spell slot, but that requires 2 sorcery points. And again, I only have 1. So now I'm left with nothing but cantrips. But I can still use sorcery points on the cantrips. Right,
That's
when you see
curious.
a survival check and everybody fails, just get out your shovel right here and just start digging. Then you can pick where, and wherever that survival check was happening, just do it. You don't even have to see the dirt mound like you see here. It's a little trick. 16 gold and an arrow of fire. I will take that. Now, down these stairs, right here is a hatch. that hatch has to be unlocked from inside the temple, but that's actually one of the ways out of the temple. It's not a way in the temple, though. And then, like I was saying, there's that front door we were talking about. Now that we got Asterion with us, we should be ready for that front door. Although we only have one disarm trap, so if he fails a single time to disarm something, we could get screwed. This door, if we can get this open, is going to have a battle, I think, with just one guy immediately on the other side. So let's try this.
Why do you give a book? Everything all right out there?
We passed. It's gonna be even funnier.
Oh, I told him it wasn't safe out there. Get inside and I'll rustle up some bandages.
Alright, here we go.
Who the hell? You're dead!
You get behind him, and then you can do some nice damage with those 2 daggers.
Survival is all that matters.
And I am definitely not good at... So go ahead and get that going.
Need to stay focused.
So you miss somebody who's...
I will ascend.
She misses too. Alright, so yeah, that's per short rest. I don't want to waste a short rest on this guy. He's surprised, which means it takes a couple turns before he, you know, starts to get really cranky with you. There it is. Alright, so then we got the bandit's key, which I think is used to open that door that we just came through. I didn't mean to go through it. Sorry. Alright, so we are in here now. It's a little dark. You can change the lighting by going to the various places and putting the lights on or off. So for example, so this lever will open that door. We don't want to do that yet. There's a lot of looting to do in here.
No more prayers.
So I'm going to have
Only
Shadowheart
dust
actually
and
do the looting.
silence.
Who are those prayers for? Normally the patron god is obvious. Not here.
So we're just grabbing whatever we can. If you sat and read all these books that come with the game, it would add
Ancient,
hours.
indecipherable text covers the plaque.
A dead tongue. Whoever worshipped here must be long gone.
See, it actually provides some nice light. I read them because sometimes when you read something, like Gale in particular will get you, he'll actually be really impressed that you found some ancient knowledge. And of course he's not in our party, so we don't have that.
Onward then. Might be useful.
I'm just picking up anything that can give me money. No, what was it? There was something I was gonna do. My mind is slipping. Alright, so these are definitely valuable items. Like that's, you see that's 30 gold. Yeah, we're definitely taking that. But everything that's on this table... So we're going to pick up the supply packs, cheese wheel. It's a little annoying because there's also plates, cutting boards. Let's zoom in a little. There's the sausage links. Tin plate. So you can see there's a bowl. Even the spoons. The knife. This stuff drives my son nuts, by the way. When we play together, he's like, "Let's go, Dad. I don't want to wait for you to pick up all this stuff." So now what do? I make my YouTubers wait. I wish I could be more efficient or just have a button that says pick everything up, but unfortunately I don't. Then, like, I know that knife's there, but even when I hold the Alt key, that knife... Oh, where's that lever? There was a lever showing up.
Worth a try.
Oh, no, not that lever. No, don't touch that lever yet. Okay. And then this, I think, is funny. This is if you play Divinity Original Sin, Fane is is the undead character in that game, and so it's a portrait of him. And it's actually worth some good money. So I do love the nod to the game. Divinity Original Sin is a ton of fun. If you ever want to see a really good playthrough of that, there's this guy, he calls him Sergeant Slack. And I think his channel's called Slack Attack. He has a wonderful playthrough of that game. And I've actually never finished the game. I really should play that some more. I guess I always get to a point where I don't know, I just get bored.
I am enjoying the latest addition to our little group. Lae'zel is delightful. In a very look at me twice and I'll dismember you kind of way, of course. Oh, what's to tell? I'm a magistrate back in the city. It's all rather tedious.
These boots have seen everything.
These dudes, they do flirt with you, and it's not the most fun. I would prefer if they kept the whole romance thing out of games. I think it was a BioWare thing to start adding those to games, and you know, people really start to expect it. It adds nothing to me. It gets actually quite annoying. But here's what we're gonna do. We're actually gonna long rest because we need all of our spells. Or at least I would like to have my spells because we got a big battle coming up. We're gonna end the day here. Oh, I'm shirtless. And when you long rest, people want to talk to you.
What's up for discussion?
A monster forms inside us. And you think to be... I knew your kind to be fragile. Be quick about your rest. We must locate a crash. A thick-headed notion in a complex circumstance. Do you suppose the parasites inside us dare to rest? That the Geich do not still pursue us with each peal of... Take your rest. Should a single tentacle split your skull, I will not hesitate to end.
So, the party is very not happy with you because we have these tadpoles in our head that's going to convert us into these mind flayers, and then here I am suggesting that we all camp and sleep. So that's what the issue is here.
What were you two talking about? I see. I'd be careful with Lae'zel.
Ooh, so catty.
She's not of this world. I'd be surprised if our interests remained alive. Let's hope we rapidly find a healer.
You seem reliable.
think you know how important it is that we find someone who can cure us. Best if we focus on that. Good. We might even get lucky and find one
Gale.
right away.
Gale approved. That's all that matters. And I do feel bad. This is where I want 6 in my party. I want Gale in my party too. Alright, so this is what I was talking about. So you have to rest, you have to spend 40. So I'm auto-selecting. Because they're just choosing like the coffee and the whatever. And you can see those special things that came with the deluxe version are in here. But we don't need that. We're going to just consume all these lighter items. And each one of these weighs something, so it frees up our encumbrance. And then now that we got 40 supplies, we can camp. And I'm going to click on full rest. And I'm just going to right click. If there's something going on, it'll happen here. And here we go. And then you just click over here and all the short rests have replenished. And then we can leave camp. And boom, we're right back where we were. It's really well done. I like this. Some games make you actually like leave the temple and go camp, go back to a fixed camp. Where in the old days you had to go to the inn, right? And this is really nice because all those things are annoying, having to go back to the inn and all that stuff. All right, so we're gonna use this new feature. It's called toggle group mode. So if you'll notice, everybody is separated, and what that allows me to do is I can move and these guys won't follow me. So I'm moving up to this lever, and I'm gonna stand right here. I'm gonna get our fighter up. She's gonna be the one that pulls the lever.
Let's get on with it.
And then we're gonna get Shadowheart. Put her a little further back. And then we'll get our thief. Oh, actually.
Still breathing.
I need to
despite everything.
Shut.
Watch your back.
We're gonna get the thief up here, and then we're gonna get the whole party
on the hunt
to hide.
Assume nothing. Unseen. Have to keep low.
Softer than a whisper.
There is work to do.
And we're gonna have her shut off the light. Now, something you may have noticed. So, if you look at my icon, there's a pointing hand, and then next to it is a sun that's half black, half light. And now the sun is full. And then it goes half black, half light. So what this is saying, this is full light, which means that you're going to have the most difficulty hiding. People are going to spot you easy in full daylight, or full light. And then over here is half light. And then eventually, you might get to a point where it turns into... It's like, that's full light. That's all half light. You could eventually find a spot that's full darkness. So we're going to go ahead and shut that off. And all that did was make everything half light here. And its only purpose is to help you with stealth checks. So I'm going to switch back over to Lysel. We're going to hit this lever.
What are the others doing up there?
And
maybe we should go take a look.
Not a chance. Could be a trap. Just keep your eyes peeled.
So they're panicking because they haven't heard from the people we just killed. And so we're having this discussion on what to do. And then this room here is where I believe I destroyed the upstairs. So we could have come in through there. Now this red simply means that as soon as I step into it,
something's rotten about this.
They're going to be able to spot me.
Rot's to be expected.
Right.
Shut it! This is no time.
So what I can do
I was trying to concentrate.
is I have sneak attack with him. So I'm going to bring him up, but he's still sneaky. And we're going to do a ranged sneak attack. And this guy's got a lot of health. The archer's annoying. I can't reach him because he's out of range.
Nothing.
All clear.
Both of the archers are annoying. This one has 16 health, so I'm going to go after her.
They won't see me coming.
So I did a nice 8 damage attack. And what that did was I am no longer stealth whenever you reveal yourself when you do this. So don't do as my son did and charge the room. Yes, I'm picking on you. One of the things that I could have done instead of attacking somebody is this barrel here explodes. So I could have shot that barrel and exploded both of these people. And yeah, I already made a mistake. But that's okay. I don't care.
Over here.
We'll come over here, and I'm actually going to make him stealth again. And he still has more bonus actions, but I'm going to hit end turn. And what I'm going to do is I'm forcing them to come through the door, which they will do. Actually, right now they're all surprised. Well, very interesting. So I get to go again. So I get to do exactly what I told you I should have done in the first place. So I'm going to pick my arrow, and we're going to shoot this. That's right. There's a two-step process there. That's okay. I will go ahead and get out of the way.
Just like
hide again. There it comes. So, obviously she failed her stealth check. Oh, I apologize. I need to pause. Okay, I am back. My apologies. I received a phone call while we were in the middle of this battle. So my apologies. It was getting good. So where are we? Okay, so two people came out. They had to use dash to come out here. And see, what happened was is that it did not explode. What it did was it spilled oil. And if you played Divinity and Original Sin, it's a classic Larian Studios thing. So you get the oil spilt, and then you can cast a fire bolt, and then this whole thing will catch on fire, and the only person that would get hurt is this guy, because everybody else is not standing in the fire now. So I'm not sure how exciting that is as an option, especially since we have two people breathing down our necks. And so what I'm going to do is hopefully, yeah, right there, I get to, oh my gosh, I missed a sneak attack. That's horrible. And just 2 damage to him, and that's it. Alright, so now we got our fighter here. This guy, of course, is the barbarian. He's going to go into rage mode pretty soon. This one, of course, has huge disadvantage because she has a bow and you're basically right next to her. So he's the bigger threat at the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and try to take him down. We're going to do lacerate. And again, that's because of the sword she has. Of course we miss. Of course. Almost strike. Alright, so we did 3 damage. Go ahead and do the action surge. If there's ever a time to do it, now is it. And there we go, we just did 9 more damage, so fighter's finally pulling her load. There he comes. Going into rage. Oh, that was good. Good miss. Alright, them running and doing all that stuff in the other room doesn't mean much. Okay, I've just figured out what's happening. These are the only 2 fighting them.
I need to concentrate.
I gotta get these guys into the battle. So let's do this. There, she joined the battle.
Let's not
and let's
get
get me into
caught
the battle.
off guard.
With we're gonna do a twin spell. See, I can't do that on Magic Missile, but I can do it on Witch Bolt or Shocking Grasp. Do Shocking Grasp. far away. You and you. Alright, that's good. I need to remember to put water on them first. Alright, now it's his turn. Yep. Still missed. Alright, fighter's turn. 4 damage. Ay, ay, ay. I'm gonna go ahead and do a second wind. And oh man, he's missed every time. There we go, we got one. One of them is down. Great club. None of this is all that handy. Six damage, and then she shoved him. Alright, so they found an angle over there. Why can't I cast anything? Oh, I can do flight, which I don't really want to do. Maybe this is a follow-up to my spell. Link yourself to a target with a bolt of lightning. Deal an additional 1 to 12 each turn by activating it. Alright, so I don't know how I'm supposed to activate it, but
can't afford to let up.
Take two.
Swift and lethal.
here they come. Another one down. The thief does not stink. There's definitely good things about a thief. Although he's standing in the doorway now, so... get him out of the way. Make them dash towards us.
Begone, death.
5 more damage.
You will not
Jeez.
take me.
Alright, so...
What should I do?
Alright, I got... So I got water on 2 of them. Get one Lysel. Of course we miss.
It's close at hand.
Very interesting. Another one down. While While in the middle of battle, we're gonna read a book. Take everything. Stand back.
Time for a new
hide.
approach.
A little help, please.
Alright, so I'm down, but I'm not dead. I'm like unconscious. Because of that jerk. Alright. Everybody, two of them are down actually. This is not good. Alright, I gotta help her up. So she has 1 hit point. And I can still hit him with a bonus action.
Needs healing.
Alright, so now I got her, and she has no healing because I had to help her up. But I can at least consume a healing potion. Doesn't help me too much, but I'll take every little bit I can. There's no actions for her. She can channel divinity, and that's, you know, no cantrips, nothing. Because she spent her whole turn getting helped. And so I would like to go over and get this person up. I think I'm going to have to do that, although she's hurting herself. Alright, so we got him up. I don't have any way to do... because she's burning, she's actually in trouble. Oh, here we go. There we go. We healed. I got rid of the burning. I just had to wait.
No choice but to keep going.
Okay, now, so now I stood up, and I got the same dilemma. I'm gonna go ahead and heal a little bit.
Oh, it hurts!
And then he's in trouble now. Then we're gonna have him heal up. Take everything, get out of the way. One guy left.
It's not going to last much longer.
Alright, since there's only one guy left, we're gonna make this work. I don't know if I want to stand in the water that I just created. That's my issue. So I'm gonna go here, and let's try... He was wet. I don't know if he still is. Actually, you can examine him. I don't think he's wet anymore. We'll go ahead. There we go. Alright, so I'm the Storm Sorcerer, but I don't think I get any actual bonuses for being a Storm Sorcerer yet. So I think I'm getting overly excited about using this whole lightning concept. And then I gotta remember to use the Cleric to make the rain. So you can see all this water here. And when they're standing in the water and I hit them with these lightning bolts, or even this lightning breath, it really will do a lot of damage to them. But first things first, let's short rest.
Better than nothing.
Get a lot of our health back. And then I'm going to hit F5 to quick save. So that was a tough battle. It's always a tough battle. And like I said, my son did not do well because he charged in. But after a reload with his barbarian, we actually did really, really well. I actually struggled quite a bit actually with our characters. I'm not used to playing a squishy character. I had a very tough paladin before. Actually, and so in the playthrough with my son, I'm a bard in that one. So I'm a little squishy there, but I don't know why, but the bard is more survivable than a sorcerer. Because you can stand back a little bit more, whatever. So here you can see the experience bar. We're halfway to level 3. The real magic happens when you get to level 4 and level 5. Level 4, you get your first feat, and then level 5, some of the fighter gets a second attack. So you can attack twice in one turn. It actually takes a while to get to those levels, though. Even now, with me being halfway to level 3.
Let's see what this does.
Alright, so... Now, when you have a torch, you can click this button and then they can hold a torch. And that lets you see things a little bit better. But then you're not equipped with your weapon when that happens. And I'm gonna go ahead and stop the video here. We're at 1 hour and 45, and I'll thanks for joining me at the table. It was a virtual table, and as always, stay awesome.